Right, my friends, hello and welcome back to another story time. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but these crutches have their own story to tell. So taking you back to last week, we decided to go for a trip in Bristol. Now, this followed about a month period of me feeling super down in the dumps, super depressed, so I was kind of burnt out with the content side of things, and I decided that no one's going to fulfill this dream for me. No one's going to make this work happen except me. So I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and booked a couple of trips. Bristol went absolutely fantastically, to be honest. Like, I had a great time there. We did the Oxy skate park, we did the Shreddenham skate park, and we did the one that is shaped like a castle, all super unique. All the videos did really quite well, to be honest, especially the one on YouTube with the Shreddenhams. I think that did like nearly 20k, so big ups to everyone that watched that. Very happy with that. When it came to the end of the trip, I felt pretty happy with myself. I had done a few tricks that I'd enjoyed, a few that I wanted to land for a while, like the manual double flip at Oxy. There was like a fairly clean triple flip to fakie at the castle park, and a few things at Shreddenhams that I'll put on screen right now. So after my month hiatus of feeling pretty shit, having that trip and seeing the videos do well really brought me up. You know, I was feeling great. I was like, where are we gonna go next? And that is the question that is answered by the trip that took me down. So a few of you may know already that that was a trip to Amsterdam. A very, very last minute trip indeed, because a friend of mine, you may know him already, Drew, from Drew is Sharing, the YouTube channel about Kush. Basically, he hit me up and said, Webz, I'm opening a coffee shop. Do you want to come down, chill, do some bits and bobs and whatever, and do a bit of film and a bit of skating and that? So obviously I'm like, of course, I'll come to Amsterdam, no problem. It's like 45-minute flight from the UK. So really there's no excuse. I booked everything last minute, spent about, obviously I don't really care too much about how much I spent because I wanted to go anyway, but just to set things into perspective, probably spent about $1,000 to $1,200 across everything, because I don't just pay for me when I go on these trips. I bring a filmer, which is Josh, pay for all of his food, his transport, all that stuff. So I spent about $1,200, I would say, roughly, on this trip. We get there, there's a brand new skate park that's just been built in the middle of Amsterdam City called Museumplein, right? Museumplein is a district of museums where all the architecture is fantastic, a lot of good spots, like there's some good street spots, there's a really nice bank that I skated with my friend Dirk that's in an upcoming video that will be up in a week after this one, I believe. But yeah, Amsterdam is amazing. Flew there with Josh, we got everything sorted. We left at like 10 a.m. from where I live to get our flight that was, I think, about 3 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock, something like that. So we didn't land in Amsterdam after all the airport shenanigans and fiascos until about 7 p.m. Luckily though, it was still light at this time. So we arrive in Amsterdam, things are looking good. We get to our hotel room that, by the way, oftentimes when it's a trip last minute like this and the flights cost a bomb, I try and save a little bit of money with the hotel. So I booked this place, it was about $50, about £40 a night, and I was thinking, great, it's got 2 single beds on the picture. Fantastic. There's like 20 pictures, all of them show a single bed, except one. We get to the hotel, we get there, they're like, okay, here's your room, it's 1 double bed for me and Josh, in a tiny room with no window, no TV, no nothing. It was literally just a double bed and a chair. So we get there, I say to the people, I'm like, look, the pictures I booked show all these twin beds, like all these rooms with twin beds, and she's like, yeah, twin bed, twin bed, twin bed, twin bed, twin bed, goes through about 20 pictures, the last one is a double bed. She's like, yep, that's your room. It's like me and my boy Josh here, who, bear in mind, I've only known him for a couple of years, so I'm not sleeping in a bed with him, at least not yet. We're a bit early in our relationship for that. So we managed to like jimmy our way into like getting half the mattress on the floor, half the mattress on the bed. So it's like he's sleeping like half on the floor, I'm sleeping half on the bed, and then we were planning to switch up. Luckily, the ladies at the hotel did sort us out, so we did actually end up getting another room the next day. Still no windows, still no TV, which TV's not really that important, but it would be nice to have a window in your hotel room, you know. So we do that, we get ourselves all situated, we set up our boards, and we go for a skate. Obviously, the first point of interest for us is Museumplein. Now, the skate park, the brand new one that I just mentioned a minute ago, is actually pretty damn nice. It's so smooth. I set up a brand new board and I had brand new shoes. Now, I've never done the freeway combo of brand new shoes, brand new skate park, and brand new board at the same time. And I feel like having all those things unbroken in may have led me to this situation, but it didn't happen until the next day. So the first day we landed, we got about 2 hours of skating before it went dark, and then we just went and chilled for the rest of the evening because there's no new lights at this new park, right? So we go home, we get into our hotel room that, by the way, I haven't even mentioned, is a library where like all the doors are bookcases. So it's almost like a secret, like you go there and it's just loads of bookcases, but they're actually all doors for rooms. And you can't tell when you go in there, but it's actually a pretty cool hotel. And for like £40, $50 a night, could have been a lot worse. So yeah, we slept there and woke up the next day.
The next day.
We wake up bright and early, ready to get 3 days of skateboarding, session the new parks, and just darting about the city, filming different bits, right? We're going to meet up with Drew on this day, get some filming done at the skate park, and then we're going to go do some filming for his channel afterwards. So we pull up to this skate park, and oh yeah, I didn't even mention up to this point, me and Drew had organised to hire out the indoor skate park in Amsterdam for that evening, which was going to be €500 for the evening, 250 each. We were going to do that. Thank God we didn't, because literally at the end of that first session is when this happened. So we meet up with Drew, we have a couple games of skate, which I won't spoil, but they'll be on the channel either in a couple of days or they might be on the second channel. But anyway, so we had a few games of skate, we had a little session on the stair set, things were going well, we landed a few tricks. Drew got a kickflip, got a double flip, I did the kickflip, and then went to go for a tray flip. Now, you guys, if you've watched the videos before, you'll know that a tray flip down the stair set for me, while it isn't, like, it's not the easiest thing in the world, it's still something that I would normally do within like 5 to 10 tries or something like that, and usually be completely fine. Sadly, this time, the gods didn't shine in our favour, and we were struck down by the ankle killers themselves. So, it was one of the most annoying injuries ever, because it's like one of them ones where I just kept getting my feet over the board in the air, and then because the stair set was a lot longer than it was tall, my speed was often mismatched with how fast I needed to go, so the board would like not quite go as far as me, and my front foot just landed slightly too far on the nose, slipped off the front, bent 90 degrees, and the bottom sole of my foot was pretty much looking straight up at my face. So it was not good. Easily the most painful ankle injury I've ever had. Because of that, I was in a state of prang. As soon as it happened, I was like, fuck, this is done. Like, I felt something like crack. It was one of the worst feelings I've had for pain in a very, very long time. Luckily, other than Drew, there was a couple of other British skateboarders there, and one of them, as soon as he saw I was hurt, immediately ran to the shop, grabbed me a bottle of Coke, grabbed me a protein bar, and funny enough, got me some paracetamol that were suppositories. So they were like in these little torpedo shapes, and they're to go up your, you know, your little, they're meant to go up there. Obviously he didn't buy them on purpose, but yeah, the painkillers that go up the windpipe, the bottomless windpipe, you know, what? Now he didn't buy these ones on purpose, but these pills were purpose built for people's poo pipes. That's a tongue twister that you can't say 2 times fast, 5 times fast, 10 times faster. People's. Now obviously he didn't buy them on purpose, but these pills were purpose built for people's poop pipes. So should I put them up there and give them a try? Maybe I should have, but sadly I didn't. So the pain is something I had to deal with for that rest of that day. It was incredibly intense. Like, I definitely thought it was broken. There was no bruising. So usually, like, if you get bruising, you think it's going to be a muscle problem. If there's no bruising, it's usually a bone problem. At least that's what I've been told. So at this point, I'm almost certain that with the pain, with the lack of bruising, that this is probably broken. So the next day, I wake up in more pain than you could possibly imagine, have the hardest shower of my entire life, and no, not in that way, you dirty bastard. So I had to go to the medical store and buy these bad boys. Obviously I could have gone to the hospital in Amsterdam, but I'm a fool, didn't have insurance, so I had to buy these myself. Luckily, they were about $40, about £35 for the both. So not too bad, and they're a fancy red colour. Normally you just get like a boring ass grey. So not too sad with that, but that isn't where this story ends, because it gets worse, a lot worse. So at this point, on the first full day of the trip, I'm sitting there with my busted ass ankle not being able to film any clips that I wanted to, not being able to do almost anything. Luckily, we did manage to film the games of skate with Drew beforehand, but I had a lot more planned for the trip as well that sadly couldn't come to fruition. So the next day, I set up a little plan of a couple of things I wanted to film and see if Josh, the filmer I took with me, could hopefully step into my shoes and at least do some of the things that I would have done in order to make like a skate park tour video or whatever. So Josh did that, he did fantastically. He even dropped in the vert ramp that we had intended to go back and drop in for a short. Quick tangent, last year I made a video on this hidden vert ramp, said if it gets 250k likes I'll go back and drop it in. So we went back to drop it in, obviously on this trip with Drew as well. And I get there, ankle's broken. I've actually now got an excuse to not have to drop it in. So yeah, while I would have much preferred to have that video, at least I can put that off for a little while longer. But anyway, big ups to Josh. He actually went to the top of that ramp and dropped it in himself. There'll be a short on that coming either today or tomorrow, so if you want to see that, check it out. Big ups to Josh, because he actually saved that video. And along with the other one that we did as well that's not out for a couple of days, he also saved that video. So big ups to Josh. If you haven't already, I'll link his Instagram in the description, go give him a follow. So, we end up finished filming for that second day. I've obviously been hobbling around with these all day, and also got a sprained wrist, bear in mind, so using these has been a massive pain. Josh, at the end of that filming session, I'm filming him do a kickflip to fakie on this tiled bank, looks beautiful, right? He lands it, rolls away, perfect. Turns around, tries a flat ground kickflip, lands primo, rolls his ankle, does exactly the same thing as me. On a flat ground kickflip, and his bruises so badly, so quickly, that honestly, at first I was like, oh, it can't be that bad, it was just a flat ground kickflip, but the way that it turned out, I'll put some pictures on screen, yeah, he fucked his up too. So we're both now out, I'm on these crutches, he's hobbling around beside me, like limping, can barely walk either, we're having to get Ubers everywhere, which is obviously adding more cost to this trip. It was the next couple of days, we just literally chilled out, just took it easy. We couldn't do any more filming after this outside of like just what we were seeing as we were like going about from place to place. So an extremely expensive trip turned into a couple of crippled guys and a few subpar videos. So at this point you're probably thinking, Webz, that's a pretty tough week. It's not been easy. And I'm thinking, yeah, if it would have ended there, I probably wouldn't have been too sad. But it gets worse. One thing I will say is thank God the second wave of problems didn't kick in until the second I got home, because when I tell you about it, if it happened in the airport, it would have been a million times worse. So, last day, we're chilling out. We're actually getting blessed up on the last day. Me and Josh, we found 30 euros on the way to breakfast, so free breakfast. We get to the coffee shop. There's two guys there that are now going to get their flight. They have this massive tray of kush, and they're like, do you guys want this for free? I don't smoke that much, like I just microdose tiny bits, so I just gave it to Josh, he smoked it. And then like an hour later, we're talking to this American guy who lives in Amsterdam at the time, and he was like, yeah, I'm now off to Paris. Here's another tray of kush. So Josh got another tray of kush, so he was getting blessed up left, right, and center. So we chilled for the rest of that day, got our flight in the late evening, because obviously I had hoped that we'd have the whole day to skate, so I didn't book the flight till like 10 p.m. So we get the flight at 10 p.m., land back in England. It takes us like 7-8 hours to get back fully. I get home, fall asleep on the sofa, wake up the next day. Hell ensues. Absolute hell. Like, it's gonna get a bit graphic here, but I was like hurling up this black liquid that was like Americano coffee. It was the roughest day I've had in a very long time, and at the time I had suspicions that it could have been blood poisoning, because when I broke my arm like 8 years ago, I had a bit of bone marrow leak into my bloodstream, which caused me to get really ill in a very similar way to this. So I'm thinking, shit, I've broken my ankle, I've got potential blood poisoning, I literally cannot get up off the bathroom floor because I'm hurling and Lord knows what else is coming out of me. But it was an extremely tough day. And the fact that I'm telling it as a story on YouTube is a bit crazy, to be honest. But I think it's important to share the bad stories as well as the good ones, so I'm going to keep doing it, I don't really care. That was the roughest day. Holly gets home from work like 6 hours later, calls an ambulance. They say to us, yep, he needs to get into hospital now. We're sending an ambulance ASAP. Hour goes by, nothing shows up. Holly rings them up again. Oh yeah, we've not got any ambulance. It's probably going to be like at least 5-6 hours, something like that. I don't think they said an exact time, but they basically alluded that it wasn't going to happen anytime soon, even though the first woman said it was an emergency. So mixed signals, I know. We go to A&E. I'm in the worst pain of my life, literally rolling around on the floor. All the nurses, all the people in A&E are staring at me. I'm actually dying. You've probably seen the picture on my Instagram. They say to me, well, they say on the screen, 40-minute wait. 40-minute wait until you get seen. So we wait 40 minutes. Nothing happens. Holly asks the people, your boyfriend's next on the list. Fantastic. It's 6:40 p.m. I'm next on the list. 7:30 p.m. rolls around, nothing. 8:30 p.m. rolls around, nothing. 9:30 p.m. rolls around, nothing. And I'm sitting here in the most worst pain, feeling like absolute shit. Like I'm going back and forth to the toilet to throw up constantly. Holly's getting annoyed at me because I can't stop moaning and rolling around on the floor. I say to her, I just want to go home. Fuck this, I just want to get out of here. I just want to go home. And Holly says to me, she's like, I'm not taking you home, but if it gets to 10:15, then we'll go. 10 past 10 rolls around, literally 5 minutes before the deadline, and they call me through. They call me through, do a blood test, take my blood out of my arm. They give me an IV drip for sickness, hydration, and all the stuff that I've been feeling bad for. So I'm literally in a chair, hooked up to the IV, just like, Luckily, the ladies around there were actually quite nice, quite friendly, talking to me. Like I've had some hospital experiences where the people aren't as friendly, so it definitely helps when they are. So, have an x-ray on my ankle. Thank God it's not broken, because everybody I showed the pictures to that I've put on the screen in this video, and were likely on the thumbnail, have told me that that is a definite break. And the fact that it hasn't goes to show that stretching your ankle and actually like doing gym and keeping your stuff strong makes it a lot more resilient to breakage, because this one definitely should have broken. And because of the x-ray, they're saying 3 to 4 weeks and I should be back to normal. The illness that was caused by my throwing up, thank God, wasn't actually related to that, because that wasn't broken, so no bone marrow in the bloodstream. Huge win there, because that was hell last time. And the next day, after taking a few anti-sickness meds and like having a full day of recovery in bed the next day, I actually felt okay the following one after that. So mentally, I'm back. Physically, we've got 3 to 4 weeks out, but I've got a lot of content already filmed, so you guys shouldn't really notice too much. But yeah, that's the story time. If you want me to tell more stories from my life like this, let me know. I'll see you in the next one.